In Britain, we live on an island, which makes it very hard to attack us. But there have been times when we've been invaded. And the last real invaders were the Normans who came from Normandy. Can you see it? It's just down here. That's right. And that's the invasion we're going to be looking at today. Because here at the Museum of Reading, we've got a large piece of cloth that tells the story of that invasion. It's called the Bayeux Tapestry. The original Bayeux Tapestry is in France, but this is a nearly perfect copy, and it stretches all the way around this room and all the way around the next room, like a huge comic strip in cloth.
Who made this one?
This one was made about 100 years ago by 35 ladies who all stitched away for a complete year to finish the job. Yes, a big, big job. And the end result is fun to look at, and it tells a very exciting story, but that's not all. You see, the thing about the Bayeux Tapestry is it also tells us an awful lot about everyday life at the time. Follow me, let's go and have a look at it in more detail. Okay, that's right, come this way. Right. This is when the Normans are all having a meal together. Can anyone see what they're drinking out of?
Is that a bowl? Isn't it a drinking bowl?
That's right, he's using a bowl. Is there anything else?
Is that a horn that you can drink from?
Well done, he's using a drinking horn. And how are they doing the cooking? Look down there.
It looks like they're putting shish kebabs on sticks over a spit.
That's right, that's it. Doing the cooking with skewers.
Who made the original tapestry?
Well, no one's quite sure. The Norman invaders paid for the tapestry to be made, but some people think the actual work was done by some Saxon women in England.
Of course it was Saxon women who made it.
Anyway, let's go and have a look at it in more detail.
Of course it was Saxon women who made it. I should know, because I was there when they stitched me in. Brought me into this world, they did. Well, in a manner of speaking. In my real life, I had a Norman mother. Walter of Caen, that's me.
The tapestry was paid for by the Normans, but most people think the man who arranged it all was Duke William's half-brother, a man called Bishop Odo.
Bishop Odo. Oh, that's the man. Pompous old fool. I used to be one of his stewards, so I saw a lot of him. Worse luck. I remember him saying that this tapestry had to be the best. Nothing but the best. And that meant using the finest needlewomen in England. Saxon women.
Slow, Granny.
More haste, less speed.
How long till you're all finished?
Well, now, put it like this. This figure will take me a day to do, and when all these sections are put together, there will be 626 people, 505 animals, 37 buildings, and 41 ships, so you can work it out. Or maybe not. See, doing the outlines, that's quite quick work, but filling in the inside with the wool, that's what takes the time. Now, where's my blue wool gone? Blue wool. Oh, I've finished it. Go and fetch me some more, would you, my love? Thank you, my dear.
How'd you get coloured wool?
Well, you get hold of some yellow sheep and some blue sheep and some brown sheep.
Granny.
All right, there's lots of things you can use to make the wool go a different colour. Now, if you boil it up with onion skins, it'll go yellow. If you boil it up with a plant called woad, it'll go blue. And if you get hold of certain sorts of beetles, it'll go brown, and so on.
Who's that you're staring at the moment?
Ah, that's poor old King Edward.
He looks rather sad.
It's not surprising. He's just about to die.
There's King Edward on his deathbed. Can you see him? He's the man with the crown. And shortly afterwards, he dies. And then he's carried off to his burial in Westminster Abbey as the funeral bell tolls. So that was the end of King Edward and the start of England's troubles. The next question was who was going to be king. Edward had told Duke William of Normandy that he could be king, but he'd also told Earl Harold of England that he could be king. It was all very awkward. But Harold decided that he wasn't going to hang around, and he was crowned at Westminster Abbey on the same day as the funeral.
Long live Harold! Long live King Harold of England! Long live Harold! Long live King Harold of England!
Who did the English want as king?
Well, that depends who you believe. A Saxon writer said that Harold was chosen by the nobles of all England.
Harold's for king! He's the boy!
But a Norman writer said that Harold went ahead and seized the throne for himself.
Diabolical liberty! That Harold was way out of order.
So who was telling the truth?
Well, that's something for you to work out. Are there any clues in this picture? What do the ordinary people seem to be doing? Do they look pleased or angry that Harold's getting crowned?
I think they look quite pleased. Yeah. I think they're not too sure. I think they look a bit worried.
But whatever they felt, a few months later they all began to be worried because a comet appeared, you can see over there, high in the sky, which at that time was thought to be very bad luck.
What did you think when Harold was made king?
Well, your grandfather, God rest his soul, was all for it. But I had my doubts. I was worried about that comet. And I was even more worried about a certain man across the channel.
Yes, one thing's for sure, William was furious. He reckoned he'd been cheated, and he ordered a fleet to be built, an invasion fleet. We were all put to work, and not the sort of work I was accustomed to, I can tell you. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. I had blisters all over my hands within days, and it took all summer to finish the job. But finish it we did, and in September we all climbed on board with our horses and our armour and our weapons, and of course, being good Frenchmen, with our barrels of wine. But that crossing, oh, 12 hours of waves, 12 hours of up and down, oh. Some of us spent the whole time just puking in the scuppers. Oh, dear. As for me, I just clung onto the mast and prayed. But we got there in the end, and a few weeks later, the two armies came face to face. I was one of the archers. Oh, scared stiff I was. I tell you, it's no fun being in a battle, whatever anyone may say. For a long time, it was really a case of our Norman cavalry against the Saxon infantry. And at first, the Saxons had the best of it. Well, they were drawn up behind their shield wall, you see, and try as we might, our horsemen could not break through. Down they went, one after another. Oh, squealing of those horses, I can still remember it. And then there were the dead bodies, and all those chopped off limbs. Oh. Ooh. At one point, the rumour went round that William himself had died. He had to take his helmet off to prove to us that he was still alive.
It is I, William! Your lord is alive!
Well, that cheered us up. And then it was our turn, the archers. William had a bright idea. Got us to fire our arrows up in the air, didn't he? So, instead of getting stuck in the Saxon shields, our arrows came whistling down and got stuck in the Saxon faces. Harold himself got an arrow in the eye, or so the rumour goes. And that's what I tell my grandchildren. I say, it was my arrow that did the trick, so it was me that won the Battle of Hastings. Well, makes a good story, doesn't it? Anyway, with their king dead, the Saxons were finished, and we'd won. But hang about, they're coming back. Nice to chat to you, but I'd better get back in line. Bye.
And now we come to one of the most famous scenes in the tapestry, Harold shot in the eye and dying. But is it really Harold? It says so here. Can you see his name written above him? But many people think this is Harold being cut down here.
What do the writers say?
Well, one of them said that Harold was killed by swords, but another man said that Harold was killed by an arrow in the eye, but that man was writing much later on.
So which was true?
Well, that's for you to decide.
What really did happen?
Ah, that's a poser. Maybe we'll never know.
If they found his body, couldn't they see if he had an arrow in his eye?
You'd think so. But do you want to hear something nasty?
Yes.
At the end of the battle, his poor face was so mangled and horrible and all chopped to pieces that nobody could tell anything. And that's God's truth.
So what will you put in the tapestry?
Or maybe we'll do him being killed twice over and then people can make up their mind whatever they like. What do you think? Yes, maybe that's what we'll do.
But shouldn't pictures tell the truth?